Whether you learn to play a song by ear or from sheet music, you might be wondering, what are the different things you can do in the left hand while the right hand is playing the melody? In this video, I will run through some options for that left hand. Hi everyone, my name is Marina and I'm a professional pianist and educator. I have a YouTube channel called The Piano Keys. I am so excited to partner with Musicnotes.com to bring you this tutorial for the left hand. Now the piano is a really cool instrument because on it we can play melodies, we can play harmonies, otherwise known as chords, and we can also use different kinds of rhythms to add interest to the songs that we play. Most instruments don't have all those capabilities. In this video, I'll show you some easy left hand patterns and some more advanced left hand patterns that you can practice to make the songs you play sound great. To demonstrate these different accompaniment patterns in the left hand, I will use the song Someone You Loved by Lewis Capaldi. Just a couple of things before we get started. No matter where you are in your piano journey, you can make what you play sound good. And the way to do it is to know your options, like what's available to you, and to practice and be very patient with yourself. This stuff is not easy. So let's go to our keyboards and get started.
So let's start with the very simplest way to add a left hand, and that is to play just one note that is part of the chord that's happening at that moment. Usually it will be the root note of the chord, meaning if it's like a D chord, you would play the D, or if it's a G chord, you would play the G. So in this case, because I'm using the example of my piano arrangement of Someone You Loved, I'm going to use the chords that are in that song. If you have the sheet music, you can look at it or you can just follow along here. So in the introduction, I've got the left hand playing just one note at a time while the right hand does an accompaniment pattern. So you see that the left hand is just playing one note and it sounds good. Why? Well, because we've got the kind of a melody, that kind of thing happening. We have a harmony or a chord, and we have a rhythm going. So all three things that you can do at the piano. Now, if I continue this idea to the verse of this song, then I would do it like this. I would play just one note in the left hand, the D flat, and then A flat here, B flat here, then G flat here. And that sounds good because again, we've got the harmony, we've got some kind of rhythm happening, you know, and we also have the melody. So it sounds great. Okay? Now, if you wanted to fancy that up a little bit, you could add a different rhythm to the left hand. So instead of just playing one note for each chord, you could do something like this. So you have a little more happening in the left hand, and it's giving it a little more forward momentum, keeping the beat going. But you don't have to do that rhythm. You can also do, so right here we did two notes that are the same length, and we moved on, right? You could do one long note and one short note like this. You hear that? Same two notes, but now I'm doing long, short, which gives it a different kind of feel. So if I add the right hand to that, it would sound like this. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Now, the next level, what I could do is instead of playing just one note of the chord, I could choose 2 notes of the chord and play them one at a time. So in the case of Someone You Loved, the chords that we're looking at, that we're working with, are D flat major. So we've got 3 notes we can choose from. Then we've got A flat major. Again, 3 notes we can choose from. B flat minor. 3 notes to choose from. And G flat major. 3 notes to choose from. So how can we work with that? Well, let's take a look. So before, when we were playing the same note over and over, and then moving on, right? So now we're going to add another note. So let's try doing it this way. We'll play the bottom note of the chord and then the top note of the chord. Bottom note of the chord, top note. Bottom note. Notice that the notes are about the same length. So if I add the right hand to that, it would sound like this. Sounds pretty good, right? Do you remember what we did before? We changed the rhythm in the left hand, so we had a long note, then a short note, long note, then short note, long note, short note. Long note, short note. Now let's add the right hand to that. Okay, you can do it that way. Another rhythm you can do is you can do short, short, long. Just playing the bottom note and the top note of the chord. Lots of options. Let's see what that looks like. So I play short, short, long. Short, short, long. Short, short, long. Short, short, long. Let's add the right hand. Okay, that's another thing you can do. Now, if you want to get a little more fancy, you can do all 3 notes of the chord like this. So you've got a long note, then 2 short notes. Long note, 2 short notes. Long note, 2 short notes. Long note, and then short, short. Let's add the right hand to that. Okay? You can also spread out these notes so they're not so close together. The way I've done it in my arrangement is instead of playing the D flat up here, I played it down here. Then I played an A flat, then an F. So it's still the same 3 notes, but now I'm spreading it out quite a bit. Now I added a rhythm that's kind of at a higher level of difficulty. I did that, but you can also do this. Then the next chord is A flat, C, E flat. So I'm going to take that C and move it up here. Next chord is B flat, D flat, F. I'm going to take that D flat and move it up here. And our last chord is G flat, B flat, and D flat. And I'll take that middle note, B flat, and jump it up here. And so it looks like this. Short, short, long. Short, short, long. Short, short, long. Adding the right hand. Okay. You can also change that rhythm. So there are so many possibilities. I'm just picking a few out of the air. You can do lots of experimentation on your own to find different rhythms that you like, and you can mix up the rhythms. I'll show you that in a second. So we can also do, we're doing short, short, long. We can do long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short. Okay? Then you can mix them up. So let's say I want to do one time through with just playing the single notes, and then on the repeat of that verse, I'm going to do. So I'm adding a different rhythm here. So here we go. Now I'm going to add a different rhythm. Another thing I can do is play groups of notes together. In other words, a blocked chord. So rather than just playing one note, then another note, then back to that same note, for example, I can play them together like that. In this case, I'm playing the bottom note of the chord and the top note, also called the root and the fifth. Okay, so with the right hand would sound like this. Okay, remember when we did the long, long, long? We can do the same with the chords. Okay, another thing we can do is long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. Okay, so you've got so many choices already. Now, if you want to get a little fancier with the rhythms, you could do something like this. Long, long, short, long, long, short, long, long, short, long, long, short. Okay, so you see that takes a little more skill level, a higher skill level, because you have to keep track of different kinds of rhythms happening in the left hand and in the right hand. And the way you can practice that is by counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so you're going to play on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And once you have it, let go of the counting and see if you can feel it more like this. Bum 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 bum, and then let it go on its own. Okay, so that one will take a more practice, and you have to have a higher level of skill. So lots of different ways for you to add left hand patterns to a right hand melody at the piano. And there are many others too, but these are great to get you started. And I want you to take these and figure out your own from these rhythms.
And there you go. Lots of options for you, but there are so many more. Start with these and then see if you can come up with some of your own variations on the ideas that are in this video. Leave me a comment and let me know if you have any questions. Keep practicing, have fun, and thank you so much for joining me. Bye!